Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. Today we're going to be talking about the month of September, and we're going to see everything you need to know about September, everything you need to be aware of, and what's going to be unfolding for you in the month of September. And if for some reason you're watching this way in the future, then you can use it as like a timeless energy check-in or a month ahead reading for you. So don't worry, whenever you're watching it is when you were supposed to come across it and when the message was meant for you. So today we have a beautiful selection of crystals for you guys to choose from. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. And basically you're going to see which of these crystals is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then as soon as you've made up your mind, you can scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description and jump right into your pile. That will be the crystal with the message for you. And the first crystal is going to be that orange crystal. The second one is the green crystal, and then the blue crystal is the third crystal. I do want to mention to you guys that I do have my Patreon up with a ton of additional readings. So if you like how I read tarot, then be sure to check out the link for my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about who you're meant to be, and that was the one you guys voted for in the poll over on Patreon. You suggested the topics and then voted on them, and we're going to be voting more and doing more topics from that poll. So if you want to join us over there, there's still time to select the next reading, but as soon as you sign up, you'll get access to over 60 additional readings. So there's so much content to go through over there. I would absolutely love to have you join us. And if you want to sign up, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I'd love to see you there. If you want to get a private reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. And you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel for you. You get to really choose what you want to ask me and what the session focuses on. So if you guys would like to get a reading with me, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So with all of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. And now, if you guys need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So for your first three cards, you guys got the Sacred Union, Partnership, Romance, the High Lord of Gratitude and Service, and the Fire Prince, Optimism, Aggression. So I'm feeling like this month could be a very sociable month for you guys. There's an opportunity for romance. There's an opportunity for some dating. There's an opportunity to meet new people, make new connections and friends. If some of you guys have been thinking about doing online dating, or maybe you haven't been putting yourself out there as much and now you're wanting to like sign up for a dating app or just go out a little bit more and meet people, I feel like this is going to be an excellent month for that. There's going to be a very sociable energy around you guys. Some of you guys may be going to parties or things like that, but there's a lot of opportunities to meet people. Your charm might also be really on point this month. So you might just find yourself knowing what to say in social situations and just kind of feeling a lot more confident. I feel like some of you guys, like I said, if you've been feeling the need to kind of hide away from the world or to, just not put yourself out there as much, that's going to change. And you might really feel called upon to like, let's go. I want to meet people. I want to talk to people. You might just find yourself enjoying it a lot more than you usually do. Even like not taking things as seriously as you have done in the past. Like maybe in the past, if you pass someone on the street and they kind of gave you a weird look or were rude to you or whatever, something small, maybe you guys would take that to heart or let it get to you, let it bother you. And now it feels like you're really not letting things affect you. Like it's just bouncing off you. Your confidence is super on point as we go into September. So I feel like it's just a very fruitful energy to kind of do the things you love. And honestly, I feel like that passion, that confidence is going to affect everything, your whole life. Like with your career, you might be more confident. If you've been thinking about doing a creative project, but going back and forth and wondering about whether you're good enough or debating how you're going to do it or feeling like I can't really ask for that raise ways, that might really change, and you might find yourself becoming so confident in literally everything where you're like, I'm gonna ask, let me march into this office, let me do this. I feel like a lot of you guys are just really taking no prisoners. This feels like a very fun month for you guys. And there is definitely the opportunity for romance and for meeting someone that I feel like you guys are going to be really close to. Not everyone, but for some of you guys who picked this in pile 1, there is going to be some new love coming in. And it could be, even for some of you guys, it could be someone from your past, because we do have Venus being in retrograde. If you're not, actually meeting up with that person from your past, some of you guys might actually be getting closure on an old relationship. If you have been thinking about someone from the past or having a hard time moving on, or you've set the intention of like, I don't want to think about this person anymore, but you keep finding your mind drifting back to them and thinking of them, you might get some kind of closure this month that finally allows you to just put that to bed forever, or for a really long time. Or maybe you're never going to think of them ever again, but you're going to be thinking about them a lot less. I feel like it's almost like things from a past relationship might somehow be conjured up. So like I said, for some of you guys, you might literally be reached out to by this person. They might contact you, they may text you or DM you wanting to talk about something, or wanting to, just get back in touch, or they might randomly like an Instagram post of yours when y'all haven't interacted online in a while. But I feel like, again, there's a really great sense of something moving forward with this connection in a positive way. So either getting the closure that you really needed and being like, okay, I can let this go and I can move forward in a new direction, or being like, okay, so we're picking things back up again, and now, wow, this is a new fresh start. But it feels like there's a lot more momentum and action happening in your love sector, your kind of 7th house of your chart. So yeah, I feel like it feels like a very fresh new energy coming in for a lot of you guys. So something new, possibly a new relationship, or just a new lease on your love life in some way, a new boldness. Let's shuffle some more cards. I want to do a live shuffle for this reading. I love live shuffles. So I figured, why not bring them back? Okay, so Spirit, we want to know about the month of September for pile number 1. We got the Strength card and the World card. Actually, I'm going to read all these upright. I'm just feeling called to do that by Spirit. So that makes a lot of sense with the World card, because that is a card of completion, and it is the final card in the major arcana. So it's generally like, we did it, and that feeling of leaving something behind. We did it, Joe. That kind of moment, like, it's over now. And so I feel like there is a strong sense of completion or some kind of closure on things from your past. If lately you guys have been having vivid memories come back to you, or vivid dreams, welcome to Venus retrograde. It doesn't even necessarily have to be with an old relationship. It could be like family members, friends, but a lot of times it's going to be with people you're no longer as close to. And, whenever something retrogrades, we get kind of energies from the past coming back. Even if that person isn't reaching out to us, they may be thinking about us, we may be thinking about them. But either way, I feel like there's a really great sense on you guys finally getting some kind of an answer, or finally getting some kind of a sense that allows you to move on, or allows you to just put a pin on it. You know what I mean? If there's been something that's been really bothering you, or you've been going back and forth about it, or you've been like, oh, like, why do I keep thinking of blah, blah, blah situation, you might find that by the end of September, you're like, oh my God, I finally got that closure. I finally can move on, and it's not bothering me in the same way it was. So however that comes in, whether it's a new relationship taking your mind off it, whether it's some just thoughts and rumination you go through, it feels like this is a really positive step forward in the month of September for you. And I am feeling like winter may be a very fun time for a lot of you guys in pile 1. So winter, it might be even more action. Some of you guys may be like meeting a new partner this month, and then in the month of like December, November, October and January, February, you are actually dating that person and it's a fun time and you guys are like going out to the restaurants together and the cafes together and spending time together. But it feels like it's like you're kind of cleaning the slate in September. You're getting rid of the old and ready to bring in the new. And for those of you guys who have been wanting some social events, I feel like you're going to have a lot of opportunities for that, a lot of invitations. I do know like September is the beginning of the school year. So maybe for some of you guys, if you're like going to college or going back to college, you might get invited to a lot of college parties. And I feel like this is a really great energy for you to say yes and to actually go and do it. So if you're like, oh, I kind of want to go to that party. No, I'm nervous. Like I don't really have the right dress. Like I'll just stay in. No, you guys need to go. Put yourself out there. If you're a little nervous, just make yourself do it, because I honestly think you have so much great opportunities for an energy flowing around you to meet new people. So you might find that if you go out to the party, instantly someone's coming up and talking to you and being like, hey, what's your name? You know, and even if you felt a little awkward showing up, like you find that you get like, you talk to a bunch of cute guys and you're like, oh my gosh, this was an amazing party, or cute girls or whatever you're into. So I feel like you're going to have a lot of opportunities to make the most of it this month. Let's see. And a lot of this honestly feels like just building up your confidence. It feels like you guys are feeling yourselves a lot more this month. Some of you guys, if you've been working on your fitness or changing up your diet in some way or changing up, I don't know, your relationship with your body or with food or whatever, I don't know, but there's just a positive momentum with that. It feels like you're feeling good physically, you feel like you look good, and maybe it's just something like you have a good fitness workout routine and you know it's giving you all those endorphins. Whenever I think of endorphins and exercise, I always think of that like Legally Blonde quote, so many iconic quotes from that movie, but where she says like exercise, she couldn't have killed her husband. Exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people just don't kill their husbands. They just don't. I just always think of that. I think that's such a, like, honestly, truthful line though at the same time. I know there's crazy like exercise people who kill, because I listen to Dateline, I watch Dateline, I know, but I'm just saying, I feel like intuitively it makes sense. Happy people don't kill people. You know what I mean? So anyway, there was some truth in that statement, but I just feel like you guys are going to be having a lot of endorphins and positivity, and you know, maybe you'll be going for more walks or doing things outdoors in nature. September is such a great time to go for walks. It's just like the perfect kind of weather, you know. But I feel like a lot of you guys are, it's not like a homebody energy. It's not a stay inside and just be cozy and bake for autumn, although we love that vibe too. Just, I love the vibes of autumn and winter. It's just so awesome that we're coming into that. But I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be called to just put yourself out there, go out there, meet people, talk to people. And I feel like you're going to be really pulled in that direction. You're going to have a lot of opportunities for that. So if that's something you want, I feel like you need to say yes, take the bull by the horns and really put yourself out there. And I think you're going to have that confidence that allows you to do that. With the Three of Wands combined with the World, some of you guys might be traveling or thinking about a move, but a lot of you guys may be traveling to a new destination, or like I said, moving into a new apartment or living situation, but there's a boldness here. And I really feel like there's a strong message from Spirit not to be afraid of any of this. If, you know, sometimes you can get overwhelmed when there's a time when there's a lot of change, or when you're meeting a lot of new people, or when there's something that's coming in that's just a little different for you. It can feel really scary and it can be a little bit intimidating. And sometimes you might be like, oh my God, what's happening? Like, I'm glad this is happening, but I don't know if I'm ready for it. I just feel like the message is don't be afraid. You are totally ready for this. A lot of it is certain manifestations that you might have made in the past finally coming true. So this is very positive forward trajectory for you guys. We also got the Page of Swords. This could be someone you're dating. There is the energy, of course, with the Fire Prince of a fire sign person that you might be dating. So could be an Aries, a Leo, or Sagittarius. I do feel like there's an energy of someone romantically interested in a lot of you guys who would be like young energy, bold. I mean, a lot of fire signs, they just always have that young energy. They just have so much energy. As a water sign, I'm kind of jealous sometimes. I'm like, how do you guys just get by on so little sleep? There are so many fire signs that like run on like 5 hours sleep, 6 hours sleep. And I'm just like, I literally would melt into a puddle. As a Pisces, I don't have that much gas in my engine. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Like, kudos to the fire signs on that. But you guys may be dealing with some fire signs. You might be dealing with a cute, flirtatious fire sign who is, got game. When the fire signs have game, they can be real charismatic. The Leos, the Aries, the Sages, they just have that boldness, that riz. They're just so like brave about things that they're fun. It's fun to be around them. They're like careless and exciting and whatever. So you might be dealing with someone like that, or making a new friend even like that. We also have this Page of Swords, so it also could be someone who might be a air, or they might be like a fire air combination. So air would be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. They may be really smart. They may have a really fast mind. This could be two separate people. So you could be dealing like with a love triangle or an air sign and a fire sign. But I feel like you guys are going to have opportunities for like multiple dates, multiple people, good conversation, and a lot of excitement as we head into September. It just feels like there's some kind of a fresh new start happening, and you guys are ready for it. It feels like you are ready to like attack or ready to go into battle. For some of you guys as well, this Page of Swords, again, if there's a creative project, I mean, both air and fire are so creative and they both have all these ideas. And so you may find yourself really invigorated with an idea for a book or an idea for a project, or being like, you know what, I've been really wanting to write this thing. I'm going to do it. Or I wanted to make a piece of clothing that just came to my mind for some reason, like someone who, makes or designs a dress or something like that. And you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm buying the fabric from the fabric store and I'm going for it, or whatever. Or maybe even a big purchase for some of you guys is what I'm hearing. Like if you were like wanting to buy a car or something big and you've been kind of waffling or putting it off, going back and forth, you might feel just like, you know what, let's go to the car dealership. Let's go this weekend. Let's do it. And you just really get that invigorated energy. What's happening for pile number 1 in the month of September, Spirit? What's happening for pile number 1 in the month of September? Ace of Pentacles. So like I was saying, that could definitely be a new endeavor. It could be something that could even pay off with you business-wise. And one of the cards fell to the ground. Just love when that happens. Okay, and that is the Two of Swords. So this is interesting because now that came out, it kind of sticks out to me that that's the first negative card we've actually gotten. All the other cards are so positive for you guys. Like I've been saying, I really feel like it's a positive month. But with that Two of Swords, you guys could get stuck between an indecision about something. Some of you guys may be really torn. I feel like the message, because what's coming through is all this fire energy. I can literally feel the invigorated energy as we go into this month. And we got the Fire Prince, we got the Wands, we got the Strength card. There's a lot of fire going on in this pile. And what I love about fire is how intuitive they are, but on such a quick level. Like they don't really ruminate. Water signs obviously are highly intuitive and rule over spirituality, but at the same time, it's like more of a like, let me go into my cave and think on it, and let me really get down and like go into my spiritual space, and let me like try to consider everything and think on it and fire is just like, I didn't like the vibe, I'm leaving. You know what I mean? Like fire's just like, I'm doing it. Sometimes that gets them into a lot of trouble. Sometimes they can be very chaotic because of that. But I feel like the message for you guys for this month is to really use your quick intuition. So like if you do become torn between something, if there are two options and you're going back and forth in your mind about it, just go with whatever you're feeling intuitively right then in that moment. Just go with like, okay, I'm doing blah blah blah, because it feels good for me, it's the first thing coming up, I want to do it, I'm going to do it, that's it. And you don't get in your head about it, because I think that's such fire energy. This is what I like about fire signs, is like when they're hanging out with you, it's because they actually like you. You don't have to worry about a fire sign like stabbing you in the back. I mean, yeah, they can definitely do that, but plotting and planning on you, because they just don't have that much foresight. Like, they're just not that much of planners. They just live so much in the moment, that they just wouldn't like really even be able to like make friends with you and then sabotage you. I mean, of course it depends on their other placements in their chart, but for the most part, fire energy is just so in the moment. And so if someone's hanging out with you and they're like a fire sign, you don't have to worry that they have ulterior motives, or that they don't really like you, but they feel obligated, or that they kind of are like, because fire signs are so cut and dry. They either like you or they don't. They're either really into you or they're just not feeling it, and they're not gonna like BS you. So again, I feel like this message is kind of like, go with what makes you enthusiastic, go with what makes you feel that excited, fire, let's go type of energy, because fire signs always bring so much enthusiasm to everything. So if it's not bringing you that like energy and enthusiasm and like just lighting you up, then just say no. And if it is, even if you're like, I don't know how this is going to work out, again, I'm nervous, I don't know if I have the right outfit, just do it, just do the things that are making you feel good right now in the moment. Let me pull some of these cards for pile number 1 for the month of September. Pile number 1 for the month of September. What is going to be happening for pile number 1? Okay, so we got life, purpose, peace. What is going to be happening for pile number 1 for the month of September? Career. Okay, that was too many. Let's see if we can get one more card for pile 1. New beginnings. I love that for you guys. Definitely seems like a month of very strong new beginnings, new fresh start. And I feel like a lot of it is going to come out of the blue. Like, it might be like you meet someone at a bar and you're like, oh yeah, they're cool, but then they text you and you guys follow up, and next thing you know, you have a really good close friend, so you weren't expecting, you were like, oh yeah, we met, but I'm sure it'll be like all the other friendships that maybe we'll text a little, but that's about it. But this ends up being like a really close friend. You actually hang out, and it may come from completely out of the blue and as a total surprise for you. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of opportunity here for advancement as well with your career, because I feel like things are just going to be shining on you. I feel like something, I guess this is just, we're just talking about so much of the fire signs, but something that kind of fire energy has in common is when you have a fire planet in your transiting around you, you're just filled with so much energy, whether it's Mars, the sun, or Jupiter. When you have a major transit happening, of one of the fire planets, that area really becomes majorly energized, and it becomes lit up. It becomes infused with like this potential and this energy, and what was stagnant before cannot be stagnant when Mars is transiting over it, or when the sun is going through it, or anything like that, with Jupiter blessing it with all the luck and blessings. So I think that's why a lot of fire signs too can just be so kind of, people think of them as arrogant, but I don't think they are arrogant. I think it's just like, they just know things are going to work out for them. They have that positive fire energy of all those planets that always come in with like, hey, clear the room. Jupiter's here, or the sun is here, or Mars is here, always ready to get attention and always going to just shake things up. And they kind of trust themselves that like, if things fall apart, that they will land on their feet. So in that same way, I feel like with you guys, it's like if you're thinking of going up for promotion, or if you're thinking of starting this new endeavor, or if you're thinking about hanging out with these new people, again, just imagine what you would do if you knew you couldn't fail, if you knew you were going to land on your feet, and that everything was going to work out, and that your guides, angels, ancestors were working things out for you, because I really do feel like they're doing this month for you. And I feel like you're going to leave the month of September with just a lot more boldness. You might leave September with a lot more friends, with a relationship. You may be dating multiple people, a new business endeavor, but it feels like this is a month of a lot of action, a lot of activity, possibly going out a lot to like restaurants, bars, cafes, and really socializing, or even being in nature. If you guys have been thinking of going to the gym a lot, you might meet someone through the gym. I'm seeing someone working out. You might be really looking after your health this month or adopting some new health things. And you might be like really feeling how you look. I feel like you're going to be attracting a lot of attention and a lot of eyes are going to be turned towards you this month, pile one. I feel like people are just going to be like, dang, pile one is looking really good. So again, if you're thinking about going out, but you're like, I don't know if I have the right dress. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. I definitely feel like you don't have to worry because you guys are going to be looking really good. Let's get a final little astrology pull for you guys for the month of September. So we got the moon. We got all water signs. That's so funny as I'm talking on and on about fire. But oh my gosh, okay, we can talk about water too. That's my element. I'm a grand water trine. Okay, so we got Cancer, Scorpio, and then Pisces. So we got the moon, Scorpio, and the 12th house. But yeah, I mean, these are also highly intuitive cards, and that's actually, I mentioned water in that context earlier. Again, I feel like there's a strong message for you to follow your intuition, and water signs are really represented by water for the reason that they go with the flow. You know, this is something both fire and water do. Like what fire, you know, does this a lot faster and kind of arguably more destructively in some ways, but fire tends to burn like in a path, you know, like yes, it can sweep over pretty much everything, but if you like watered the heck out of the ground or you put up like a firewall or something, it can't climb over that. And same thing with water. Water really just flows where there's like a rivulet or an indentation or, you know, a little stream riverbed for it to flow through, right? And by the same token, I think so much of life, this is why Bruce Lee said, be like water, is all about going with the flow, going with the seasons, embracing the season you're in. And I feel like for you guys in this season, you're going through a fun, exciting period, and you should really use your intuition to guide your decisions at this time, especially if you're being called to be in a lot of social situations or interacting with a lot of people, you know, then you kind of have to make your decisions really quick. When you're in hermit mode and you're sitting home alone, you can like ruminate and go back and forth. But when you're like dealing with others, you kind of have to like make your mind up and either go for it or say no, and you have to do it in the moment. So again, I feel like your intuition is going to really guide you this month, and spirit is calling on you guys to pay attention to all of that and to really give it your all, you know, listen to yourself, listen to your inner intuition, and let that energy guide you during this month. We have the moon, which relates to family, close friends. Again, there's that real opportunity for you to make some really good friendships this month, and just have a very sociable time. Really fill your emotional cup up and enjoy being around others. So yeah, I think this is a really good month for you guys. I think a lot of you guys are going to leave September really with your confidence high up and enter into the rest of the year ready for even more social events and social occasions and having built up your confidence to a big extent. So yeah, I think that's what I have for you guys. Pile number one, I hope it resonated. Please make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. That always helps. And if you want to see more of my content, head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about who you're meant to be. You guys voted for that in the little poll over on Patreon. So if you want to sign up and join us over there, you'll get access to over 60 readings. You also can vote in all the polls, suggest readings. So I would love to have you join our little Patreon tribe over there. And if you guys want to get a private reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can sign up for a half hour or a full hour long session with me, have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel mediumship, or intuitively for you. Yeah, there's a lot. Read your astrology. Did I already mention that? I don't know. But anyway, if you want to get a reading with me, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and we'll be back again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So let's get into your cards. So you guys got Sisters of the Seasons, Cycles of Growth, Natural Law, Divine Order, the Word Lord, Communication, Praise, Dishonesty, and the River Queen, Flow, Letting Go, Natural Movement. So, as we come into this month of September, I feel like, first of all, a lot of you guys are doing some deep thinking on the direction you want to head, on where you're at in your life, and where you want to go. You might find that this is the month when you feel called to put together a new vision board or to start journaling or to really start changing your perspective on things that are possible for you. I do feel like some of you guys are going to be disaligning with certain things that aren't really serving your energy. So if you've been thinking about like quitting your job, or if you've been thinking about a friend that you kind of feel like isn't really on your side and may possibly be toxic, this might be the month when you find you're unable to ignore this anymore and there's some major falling out, or you get fired. But it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. But there's a sense for you guys this month and really clarifying like where you're heading. And I feel like a lot of these are going to be decisions coming from you. So it wouldn't even necessarily be you being fired. It might be that you're like, you know what, I gotta go apply for another job or something like that. But I feel like a lot of you guys are kind of pivoting this month, or really thinking about where you want to be within a year, or where you want to be 6 months from now. And there's kind of like this shifting energy, getting rid of certain things that aren't serving you anymore. So I do feel like a lot of you guys will be letting go. There is an energy as well that there could be some kind of like betrayal or some kind of falling out thing, kind of the same energy we were just talking about this month. It also could be that just you are processing something unhealed from your past. So it may be something that you buried. And since we're going through so many retrogrades kind of conjure up stuff from the past, things we thought we'd put to rest. Retrograde will be like, oh, let me test that, let me see. And it will bring up a lot of those feelings. So you may just be processing something that comes up for you from the retrogrades, like an old friend that betrayed you years ago, and suddenly it's on your mind again and you get some clarity, or an old relationship that you've been thinking about a lot and you're ready to let it go now. But I feel like a lot of you guys are going to really get some release from this. And if this betrayal does happen this month, I feel like the thing about it is, even then there's this sense of relief. It's like, I knew this person had a shady energy. Okay, so I was not crazy. I wasn't being paranoid. They really were shady to me. And I always feel like that is such a good feeling, even though people don't associate, being betrayed with a great feeling. But me personally, I love it when it happens, because I'm like, I knew it. I knew you felt that way, or I knew you had those intentions towards me. And I'm so glad that now it's all out on the table. Now we can't deny or pretend. And so, yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys, it's like something that has been kind of like niggling away in the back of your mind, just kind of tugging at your attention. You're going to have that confirmation that either this situation isn't for you and it's time to leave, or that, there's something you kind of can't deny anymore this month. But I feel like it's a good thing. It's allowing you to move ahead and move forward. Let's get into some more cards. We're doing the live shuffle. I love our live shuffles, so I figured why not bring it back. So we got the King of Swords. We're not doing reversals this time. So we got the King of Swords, the Fool. And what I love about the King of Swords is how decisive he is. The Swords energy is one of the more kind of open to conflict energies in the whole tarot. Swords cards don't mind fighting. That's why they're the swords. So a sword card is fine with kind of like saying the harsh thing, or admitting that something, isn't supposed to work out for them. Sword cards are not someone who's like desperately optimistic and clinging to some idea that it just has to work out. A sword card will be like very savage, with literally cutting things off and being like, I'm done with this, and looking at a situation really clearly. They don't have as much emotional attachment as like a water sign might, or a water energy, a cup energy, or even a fire energy being really volatile. A sword is kind of like dispassionate and just intellectual about things, and is going to be fine with leaving something in the past, or with cutting someone off, or cutting ties in some way. And so I feel like for a lot, even as I'm saying, cutting ties, cutting someone off, those are all cutting. That you can do that with a sword, you know? So that's really something that the swords cards really represent to me. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, there is this sense of letting something go as a way to clear the path for something new. So again, if there's something in your life that a lot of you guys have already been thinking about releasing, letting go of, getting rid of in some way, or just maybe it's not serving you anymore and you're kind of not sure of like, should I keep putting energy into this? Should I keep trying? I feel like by the end of September, you'll have that confirmation that, yeah, it's time for you to move on and that you do need to listen to your intuition. And the beautiful thing about that is I feel like you're kind of getting rid of stuff this month, and it's really going to pave the way for October and for the rest of the year, and possibly in the new year, a new energy to come in. Just like if we want to like plant some beautiful flowers and let them grow, we got to weed the garden, we got to pluck out all the old stuff. If we tried to grow some vegetables or something and they're like rotting in the ground, we got to clear that out and rake the leaves away, and then we can plant our beautiful rose bush or whatever we're trying to grow. We need to clear out the old stuff in our life. So I feel like a lot of you guys are doing that in this month of October. Let's see what else we are going to get with this tarot. So we got the Four of Wands, Seven of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, and the Six of Swords. Definitely Six of Swords energy is really strong for you guys. I mean, we've already been talking about that. That's definitely leaving something in the past. But I love that you got the Seven of Cups as well, because again, I feel like you're really thinking about manifesting. And for some of you guys, I'm hearing this could be a friend, possibly a friend who you kind of know isn't on your side, or kind of feel like they may be a little shady to you in private. There may be a friend around you that you felt like, I'm not sure if this person really likes me that much, or I feel like they're a friend, but I don't know, I just have a weird feeling. I feel like you're going to have a decisive sense of who this person is and how loyal to you they are or aren't by the end of the month. So there may be a falling out with a friend or something like that, or you guys could grow closer. But I do feel like for a lot of you guys, there's some kind of a distance being put up with someone that you might have felt obligated to be really nice to in the past, or you may have felt obligated to keep around for whatever reason. There may have been someone in your life that, you know, it's kind of like I said, pulling at you, tugging at you, niggling away at you, where you're like, oh, I just don't really, I don't know, this person doesn't seem to like me that much. But then you have made excuses, or you felt like you need to be around them. This may be someone that kind of like plays victim a little bit, or maybe gets sympathy from you in some way. And I feel like you're going to have this decisive sense of like, I got to get rid of this. I got to get rid of this so I can bring in something new and bring in a new relationship. For some of you guys, this person may be competitive with you romantically. This may be someone who kind of doesn't like it if you're getting more attention than they are, or something like that. But I do feel like for a lot of you guys, this is about really stepping into your own destiny and stepping into an energy of welcoming in some attention. I do feel like some of you guys are going to be attracting some very strong romantic attention this month. And again, that could be leading to some jealousy from others. There could be an energy of people around you noticing what kind of attention you've been getting, and that people's heads are turning and not really enjoying that or liking that. And I do feel like some of you guys in this pile, you tend to keep yourself small. You're not the kind of person who deliberately seeks out attention. You're not the kind of person who wants to be like the life of the party or all eyes on you. And even though that's fine, everyone's different, I do feel like you're being called to really think about the things you really want, because what I'm hearing is some of you guys in this pile, you tend to sabotage things. It's almost like you'll get close to getting it, or you'll be like, oh, I want to date someone. Then you actually get an opportunity to date and you'll be like, oh, never mind, no. And partially it may be you sabotaging yourself because you make other people more comfortable. Like, if you have a friend who's perpetually single, or who just is competitive with you and doesn't want to see you do that well, even if they're in another relationship, and you start dating some really cute guy and you guys have such great chemistry and everything, sparks are flying, it's just awesome, you might find that when you tell your friend about it, that they're kind of weird. They're kind of a little bit rude to you or a little bit shady or something like that. So some of you guys might sabotage it unconsciously. This friend might not even be directly rude, but they might play victim, or they might start acting weird, or they might suddenly start having an emotional fit. It might not even be a friend. It could very easily be a parent or a family member. But I feel like for some of you guys, this is really about reclaiming who you are and what you are entitled to, and knowing that you deserve to have an amazing relationship, and you deserve to have friends and money and all the good things in life. So I feel like for some of you guys, actually, there's going to be a little bit of a spotlight on you this month. And it's kind of like seeing, are you going to sabotage it? Are you going to get rid of it? Are you going to do something to blow it up? Or are you going to allow it to happen and really allow it to bless you and embrace you? Because there is this energy that sometimes your mind kind of runs away from you. You might start getting some beautiful, you know, manifestation happening, and then you guys end up thinking of all the worst case scenarios, or being like, well, yeah, he's really cute and I know we get along really well, but you know what, I'm not even ready for a relationship, I'm not going to date. And you might be surprised to know that like some of this is subconscious. Some of this is you subconsciously sabotaging because you're afraid of what would happen if you actually got those things, and if you got that kind of attention. You're afraid of the jealousy, you're afraid of the resentment, so you just kind of like avoid it entirely. And I feel like you are really being called upon to like fully step into this energy of what you want, what you deserve, and allowing those things to come in, because it's almost like your guides want to bless you with this. Your guides want to give these things to you, but I do feel like sometimes you guys start pushing it away as it comes in. So yeah, I think as this month of September unfolds, a lot of you guys may be faced with these situations where you're starting to see your manifestations come true. You get a little nervous, you get a little scared, you start kind of freaking out a little bit. And this is just your reminder to kind of keep your head on straight and not allow your mind to run away from you, not allow yourself to go to the worst place scenario or to start thinking of what could go wrong, but to allow these things to come into your life in a good way. And for some of you guys, this is letting go of certain relationships as well. If you have been feeling called to really call some relationships or get rid of some people, or to get rid of some shady situations, I do feel like this is your confirmation that some of these people may not have your best interests at heart, and there may be this need to seek out new relationships, new situations, and to be willing to leave some of these things in the past. If someone is not happy for you when you're having a Four of Wands moment and when you're celebrating, then that is not someone who is your friend. A true friend will always celebrate your achievements, will always be so happy to see you win, to see you thrive. So whenever someone is acting weird, feeling shady, getting in their feelings, feeling abandoned because you're not paying attention to them, that is a totally lopsided relationship, and it's one you should honestly run from, because those kinds of people can really sabotage your life like nobody else. And the worst part is how they get in your head and make you start doubting and make you start being out of alignment. They start making negative comments about whatever you're trying to do. They start acting weird and you pick up on it, and then you feel nervous. So my point is you really got to clear out the old to bring in the new. And so this may be a cleansing, purging month as we head into September. But the faster you get rid of the old, the quicker you can get welcome in the new. Sorry, can't even talk. Mercury is retrograding, so you know what? I'm blaming it on the retrogrades. But yeah, we have the Knight of Cups. So this also could be a call for you guys to really enjoy some hobbies this month. You might be just wanting to bake a little bit, or read, or watch some TV, or kind of veg out. Kind of looking after yourself, doing a little self-care can definitely be that energy of the Knight of Cups, as well as all creative pursuits. So if you've been thinking about starting a creative hobby, be it baking or painting or writing or anything like that, anything creative in nature, even something like doing tarot, or starting maybe buying a tarot deck for the first time, or doing tarot more, or meditating, all those spiritual and creative things can definitely be represented by the Knight of Cups. And I do feel like it's almost like the quicker there's some connection to you clearing these people out who are judgmental, or even if maybe for some of you guys, these are people you've cleared out in the past, past, but you still kind of hear their voice in your head. Like maybe you do a creative hobby, but as soon as you start knitting or whatever, you can hear the voice of, you know, the friend who would always tease you about being an old grandma because you're knitting, or, you know, once you start pulling your tarot cards, there's a sense of shame because you had a parent who would be really weird about tarot or something like that. And I feel like for you, this is just your message to really release and understand that these people a lot of times came from a place of jealousy or resentment, and it has nothing to do with you. And it's something you're really going to have to leave in the past. It might be something where you are being called to be doing some deep shadow work over this month of September. If you've already been doing deep shadow work through these retrogrades and through this summer, then, you know, maybe it won't be as intense for you guys. This could be an existing energy and you're just clearing it out through the end of September. But I do feel like it's like there's a lot of purging happening and there's a lot of getting rid of the dysfunction. If some of you guys have already started cutting people out of your life, I do feel like, again, it's confirmation that you made the right choice and that was a really good thing that was supposed to happen. Let's get into some of these cards for pile number. Okay, that was the happiness card and it fell on the ground, but I will pick it up. Okay, so pile number 2. What is happening for pile 2? Oh, we got clarity and closure. That is so perfect for this reading. Yeah, I feel like you guys are getting a lot of clarity and there is that sense of closure. There is this sense of leaving something really in the past, and it makes perfect sense. You know, we have Venus retrograde, we have so many planets retrograding, it's crazy. But with Venus especially, it can bring up old relationships, it can bring up love relationships of all kinds, definitely romantic, but also family, friends, and it can really make us question certain things. And I do feel like for you guys, there's a sense that this is a blessing, that whatever is really wrapping up at this time or whatever you're getting closure and awareness on, it's a really good thing and it's a long time coming. It's probably something that, you know, you have been wanting forever. Even if you didn't consciously want it, maybe at a certain time in your life you wanted actually to get back together with this person, or you wanted, got the happiness card by the way, or you wanted to reconnect with this person. But now you're at a place where you're like, I am so glad that that's not what happened. And the more I think about this situation, the more I realize that they were never for me, and not even like is a negative thing towards them, but they just weren't for me in my life path, and I love where I am. But I do feel like for a lot of you guys, the things that are going to be coming up right now, this may be a powerful month for you to kind of, if you've been feeling really taxed lately, if you've been feeling kind of exhausted or stressed out, or like you're burning the candle at both ends and you're kind of like, wow, I feel the need to veg, I feel the need to chill out a little, I feel the need to like rest and relax, I would definitely say listen to that, because I think that this is a really powerful time for you to just be regenerating your energy. You know, this is a powerful time for you guys to be thinking on everything, to be like I said, getting downloads and really processing a lot of this. I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be getting a lot of information. You could literally be going through energetic upgrades to your energy system. So you might feel a little bit tired this month, but I feel like you are getting very intense levels of clarity and closure about these past events. So the feelings that come up for you, honestly, it feels like this is a long time coming. This is a massive release that you've wanted forever. And by the end of the month, I feel like you're going into October almost like with a fresh slate, you know, with like, okay, we processed all of that, we worked through the BS, now we can start planning and enjoying for this new season in my life. But it's kind of like you got to get rid of the old first. So this month you may be being called to be kind of inward, to kind of be a homebody, to kind of, you know, read a lot or watch some TV. You might be like, oh, what am I doing? Or go for hikes alone, walks through the woods alone, you know, and this kind of looks like a September energy card, literally, because it looks like fall. So you might be being called to do things like that and to really spend some time alone. And maybe you're beating yourself up like, oh, I should go out, I should meet up with some people, I should do something. But I do feel like, again, don't feel bad if you're feeling really tired. Some of you guys might even feel a little bit hungrier this month. And I'm feeling that a big part of that could be because of these energetic downloads. It's funny because I get really tired after the readings a lot. I have to moderate my energy. And I've heard that from so many other people who do tarot readings or spiritual work. Like, we all will be like, I've talked to some people in private readings where I'm like, oh, you're a really talented tarot reader. And, you know, they're like, yeah, I love doing tarot and I've thought about a channel. And I'm like, yeah, that seems good for you. But as soon as I suggested it, they're like, oh, I could never do it. Like, I tried filming it once and I was straight up exhausted. And I'm like, I totally know what you mean. And the funny thing is that like, I just know that spiritual work does like burn calories and burn up your energy. It just totally does. I mean, I ask like any tarot reader. I mean, some YouTube tarot readers, they're putting out readings every single day, so maybe not them, but I feel like for most of us it can be very taxing. And my point in about that is like, people will tell you that if you're not working out at the gym or if you're not like lifting weights, that you're not really working, and that you're, but they have done studies and they found mental work is, you know, incredible. It kind of like burns calories, and it definitely burns up your energy. And I would say spiritual work is like even more so. So if you're feeling really tired, or if you're like, oh my God, my appetite is so strong this month, don't beat yourself up. Don't think it's like a bad thing or you're going crazy or you've lost your mind, because I feel like you're getting a lot of these downloads and closures this month. Let's get into some astrology dice for pile number 2. So we got Virgo, Uranus, and Scorpio. So Aquarius, Virgo, and Scorpio. So 8th house, Virgo, Uranus, Scorpio. Yeah. Scorpio. I'm like, how many different ways can I repeat this? But anyway, those are the signs. Scorpio, Aquarius, and Virgo. So with Virgo, I mean, we are coming into Virgo season. And of course, Virgo season is really all about, first of all, I love Virgo season because it's like that excitement of going back to school, which is something only Virgos could get us excited for, right? Like when I think back to being a kid and getting like, oh my God, let me color coordinate my pencils. That was literally the only time in my life you would ever catch me getting excited about pencils. But Virgo season will have you doing that. Virgo season will have you like organizing all your folders and color coordinating your binders, even if you're someone like me who's a Pisces and is like completely against and hates the idea of over organization. But yeah, so I feel like this is a perfect time whenever we're in Virgo energy. It's such a great time to take stock of things. This is why Venus is debilitated in Virgo, is because Virgos can be nitpickers. But I actually kind of like that energy, because I think that Virgos will notice the flaws that sometimes, yeah, it's a drag and it's like, oh my God, can you just pretend everything is fine? Like, we don't need you to be critical about this. But sometimes you do need to be critical. You know what I mean? Sometimes you do need to be a little bit like, that's off. And that, no, that wasn't spelled correctly. And that, yeah, when he said that, that was kind of toxic, and actually pay attention. Sometimes we don't need to put the blinders on. We don't need to go into Pisces, opposite sign of Virgo, benefit of the doubt mode, where we're like, no, I think they meant this. No, it's fine. No, it's beautiful. We can be that critical Virgo, because it's like you kind of need to sometimes. You know, you need to like start really taking notes and paying attention. And I feel like you guys are being called to do that. So if there's times when you've been like, yeah, I think she was kind of toxic when she said that, but I don't want to be overly critical. No. This is your time and energy to be overly critical. And what better time, like I said, than Virgo season. And then we have Uranus, Aquarius. That can definitely relate to your greater and wider circle of friends. 11th house is also the house of hopes and wishes. So I think an interesting thing that just came up to me literally as I'm saying this is how it's interesting that those houses are the same thing, because so much of our relationships, our friend groups, relate to whether we're able to fulfill our hopes and wishes. And that's how ancient astrologers interpreted the 11th house, is how it contacts who you know is so important to like building success. But by the same token, having those friends that aren't really on our side, having those people that sabotage us, snipers from the side, so to speak, that can also really influence whether we're gonna achieve our hopes, wishes, and dreams. When we have someone that isn't really there for us, or might pretend to be liking us, or might pretend to be on our side, but doesn't really feel that way, that can really be so detrimental. And I feel like a lot of this is like very critical signs. You got Aquarius, which will, Aquarius, like between Aquarius and Sag, I feel like those are the two queens of ghosting, and Sag and Aquarius will both cut someone off quick. Like Aquarius just does not care. They're very unemotional. They're very emotionally withdrawn when it comes to things that other signs might really agonize about, calling out the water signs, of course. Cancers, the Pisces, we might really get in our feelings about like, but we were friends and I just feel like it was so hard. And meanwhile, an Aquarius will be like, bye. I don't care at all. I'm not going to cry, like genuinely don't care. And honestly, I think that's kind of like the energy y'all are being called to step into this time, is like not really allowing, because sometimes we can be manipulated by our emotions. Sometimes we can be manipulated by the fog of memory, which relates to the moon. We can we can kind of be fooled by like, we had such good times together, but if they're not on your side, if they don't support you, if it's not aligned with the future you want to build with yourself, then you kind of have to be a little bit ruthless and be like, sayonara. And you might be shocked by how much your life gets so much better. I know for me, when I finally was like, okay, guess I'm cutting off this person and that person and that person and that person, but I finally committed to it and was not fighting it anymore. It was such a relief, actually, and I was amazed by how much more emotional energy I had to focus on myself and to focus on my goals, my wishes, my hopes, and my dreams. And that's what I feel like unites this like Virgo, uh, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Is kind of like there's a ruthlessness there. There's a lack of emotionality, and I feel like that's kind of what you're being called to think about, is like really being kind of brutal about, no, this doesn't work for me. This isn't benefiting me. Yeah, I know you're kind of benefited by my presence, but this isn't working for me, so you gotta go. And so, yeah, I think all of you guys for the month of September, you're just being called to think about yourself and use this as a really great growth month. Use this to move yourself forward, because I think there's so much more potential for you, especially as we head into October and November and the rest of the year. Let's use this month to kind of clear out the old, and so the new can come in. So I hope that resonated, you guys. I have lots of other videos up on my channel if you guys like this kind of content. And if you want to see even more of it, of course, you can head to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about who you're meant to be, and that was the one you guys voted for in the poll. But there's still time to enter the poll if you want to vote for the next reading we're going to do, the runner-up. And once you sign up, you'll get access to over 60 readings. So I would love to have you join us over there. Guys, thanks for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. That really helps my channel. So also, if you want a private reading with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can have me pull tarot, read your astrology, channel for you, whatever you would like. So get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Link is in my description. Oh, and I didn't mention, but the Patreon link is underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. But thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you guys so much love and light, and we'll be back again very soon with another reading. So take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hey, Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So for your cards, you guys got the Prison Waif, Self-Sabotage, Poverty Consciousness, the Dragon's Jewel, Inner Conflict, Morality, Conscious Choice, and the High Lady of Love and Compassion, Reverence, Kindness, Consideration. So some of you guys might really be being questioned in this month of September to really refine your ideas towards money, your ideas towards finances, and how you manifest things, I'm hearing increasing expectations. So there may even be a call on you that some of the things you have been trying to manifest lately is almost like too small, and you have to think bigger. You have to get some kind of even larger set of expectations. And I think also the key for that is like expecting. So not just hoping or wishing or dreaming about it, but expecting it to happen. So I feel like in the month of September, a lot of you guys are going to feel challenged or encouraged to increase whatever manifestations you've set for yourself and make them even better. So if you're trying to manifest love, maybe making it even more your type of person. Maybe you were like, well, I don't want to list the physical because I don't want to be shallow. And Spirit is telling you, like, no, go ahead, list those physical characteristics. Tell us what you really want. Or maybe it's a money thing and you're like, well, I maybe could imagine this amount per month. And Spirit is trying to increase that and take the limits off. But I feel like there is some changing attitude towards money or towards what you can expect coming through in the month of September. Some of you guys may also be challenged. I'm seeing some kind of conflict at work for some of you guys. So it may involve a disagreement in your workplace or some kind of competitive vibe with someone. So there may be someone that it feels like they are competing or they have a little bit of jealousy towards you, or kind of like, I'm seeing you as a rising star and being on certain people's radar. So some people not feeling comfortable with the attention you're getting or the path you're trailblazing. So some of them might kind of feel a little bit shady towards you guys. And so I feel like there's a need for you to be aware of that as we come into September, to kind of like identify it for what it is. Because I think one of the worst things we can do is kind of lie to ourselves and tell ourselves, oh, it's not that bad, or they didn't mean it like that, or anything like that, when it's a serious situation. Not to allow ourselves to get like super stressed and freak out about it. I'm not saying do that, but maybe just recognize it and don't try to sidle up to this person and be friends with them. Maybe just even creating boundaries. I think sometimes when you're dealing with this kind of person, the best solution is to really not give them a lot of information and kind of create a little information blockade. So maybe in the past you would chat about what you did that weekend or what your plans are, and now next time they ask, maybe just be like, oh yeah, I don't have anything planned, just staying at home, or yeah, just putting in a lot of work this weekend, but not giving them answers so that they can't really know a whole lot about you, is kind of what I'm hearing as guidance for how to deal with this person. And I feel like also just to keep your head on straight, recognizing it for what it is, but putting up a little bit of a wall with them, energetically speaking, may really help you to handle this situation and get through it in the month of September. But I am feeling like a lot of you guys, like I said, I'm seeing a rising star in the sky. So I do feel like you're on a lot of people's radar as someone who is doing a great job and who a lot of people are going to notice, a lot of people are going to take in and really appreciate what you guys are up to. So keep doing what you're doing. Again, it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It may feel like a bad thing at times, but I think you guys are actually, you should be complimented by the fact that this person is, you're getting under their skin a little bit. I think a lot of more people, even beyond this person, a lot of higher ups are noticing you and people are taking stock at you. So I feel like a lot of you guys are doing positive forward momentum. Sorry, Mercury's in retrograde and I feel like I can't even talk. But a lot of you guys are moving forward in a really positive way. So you're making strides with your career. If you guys have another goal, like if you're wanting to start a family or if you're worried about your dating life, just know that all the work you're putting in is paying off. I'm also seeing some of you guys as wanting to make changes to your body, your diet, your routine in that way, your health routine. And like I said, don't worry, all of this is going to pay off. It's one of those things where sometimes slow and steady wins the race, and sometimes you're like, wait, what is going on? I've been working on this and I don't know why I'm not seeing forward momentum. But sometimes, as difficult as that can be, that is just a huge part of the process. And just trust that each of those little steps we take will take us in the right direction. One of my favorite quotes is, even the mightiest oak falls with 1,000 strokes of the axe. So it's true. Sometimes it's just about pushing through, making those 1,000 strokes. Even when you're like, I've been hitting this tree with this axe for 984 times, just keep pushing yourself a little bit further and then you'll get there. So I do feel like the overall message is you're making really important moves with your career, with your personal life, but it might attract some haters for you guys in the month of September. Let's get into some more cards for what pile number 3 can expect in the month of September. What can pile 3 expect in the month of September? Ooh, so we got, yep, there's that 5 of Swords, shady energy that I'm picking up on, and someone who definitely has it out for you a little bit. Definitely someone who's not going to be as scrupulous or honest as we would hope, and maybe doing stuff behind your back to sabotage you. So again, I think this is where just being honest with yourself about this and acknowledging what's going on and being like, okay, I see where this person is coming from, can sometimes block them. It's when we kind of lie to ourselves and say it's not that bad, that kind of a person is really able to do a lot of damage. Seeing the image of someone like opening their door to a thief and being like, come on in, versus having all those walls up and like your security system on, and that thief is going to have a really hard time getting in there. So again, sometimes in life it's just about setting those boundaries, putting up some walls and being like, nope, you can't come in. No, I'm not letting you into this section of my life. And that can really avoid a lot of problems. With the Ace of Wands, you guys might be struck by a really incredible idea or a desire to do some kind of a project. There could even be a new crush or romantic development, and someone who really comes in super attracted to you, really is drawn to you and wants to initiate some kind of relationship with you. This also could be that spark of excitement to try something new. The Ace of Wands generally is that energy of just like, I gotta work on this project, I gotta start this, I gotta talk to that person. So you guys might find yourself having a ton of energy this month, and you might find yourself really excited to start some kind of a new endeavor, go after something, take on a project. I'm hearing for some of you guys this could be something you've put off or delayed or procrastinated on. So it could be something like you knew you needed to fix, your dishwasher or something, but you just kept delaying it, and now you suddenly have the energy to get that dishwasher fixed somehow. Or it could be that you're like, I really wanted to write a song or write a book, and again, you finally have that energy and the enthusiasm to go ahead and start writing it. But with the Ace of Wands, again, you might find yourself really energetic throughout the month. You might find yourself just overwhelmed with energy. It might even be troublesome for some of you guys to actually sleep, because you might find yourself kind of like up late, just like full of energy, even when it's like 1 a.m. So make sure you're giving yourself a little space to sleep in on the weekends and stuff like that. But I do feel like this energy, again, I think this is kind of why you're also attracting haters, because I feel like people can pick up on it. It's very infectious to others, and they can kind of see that you have a spring in your step. You might even feel the urge to put in extra work at work or at your workplace or with some kind of project. You might be making extra money as a result of that. And again, I feel like this puts you on a lot of people's radar. I feel like people can see that you're doing a really good job. And if they are feeling a little competitive with you, it might not rub them the right way. But people like your boss or positive coworkers, they might really notice this and just wonder how you're doing it and think you're doing such a great job. Let's get some more cards for pile number 3. Pile number 3, what tarot cards? We're not doing reversals this reading. So we got the Hierophant, the 3 of Pentacles, Oh my gosh, and the Ten of Pentacles, as I just said, you might be earning some more money. I definitely can see that for you guys, that there may be some more financial abundance. And you might also be learning at whatever this is. You might feel the need to educate yourself or increase your education this month. Start reading about some new topic or something. Again, I feel like if there's something you were kind of interested in, or maybe felt a little bit drawn to, but we're putting off fully investing in it, or fully, really getting all the way into it. You were just dipping your toe in, and now you're like, I'm ready to dive into this. Then this is going to happen for you this month. A lot of you guys may feel the urge to fully embrace something on a new level. And I feel like whatever this is going to be a lot more fruitful for you. So if you're like, I really want to self-publish a book, but I don't know if I can, you might decide to set a reading schedule and force yourself to do that. Or if you're wanting to start a workout routine, you might find yourself being like, okay, I am going to go to the gym every day for an hour, or I'm going to change my diet and I'm going to stick to meal planning. But I feel like you have this extra energy that kind of bleeds into the rest of your life and really allows you to take on these projects and these endeavors and do a really, really good job at them. So you might find yourself actually being very prolific in your workspace this month. You might find yourself, if you have the kind of work where you can make your own schedule, or where you can, kind of play around with things to that extent, you might find yourself just knocking things out of the park this month and going above and beyond and doing extra work. And again, your coworkers might really be amazed by this, and some of them may even think of you as an authority figure. I also just saw the image of some of you guys possibly going to some kind of religious situation. I don't know if this will apply to everyone, but you might get more in touch with your spiritual side. Or even if you come from like a traditional religion, like if you grew up Jewish, but you don't really go to the synagogue anymore, or you grew up Christian, but you haven't been to church in a really long time, you might find yourself at the synagogue again, or at the church again for some kind of event or some kind of occasion. Maybe like a family member gets married and you end up going and seeing the traditional Catholic ceremony and being like, this is really, really nice. I kind of miss this. So if you're feeling a connection to, like I said, some kind of religious event, or feeling called to go to church or something like that, I feel like that's a definite yes. And there's even the message that you might really meet some people, or a social circle, or if you're wanting to date, you might meet someone romantically through this kind of traditional religious situation, or even a spiritual situation. You might just be getting more in touch with your spiritual side, doing research, learning up on things like tarot or astrology, or deepening your knowledge in some way. Even taking a course, or getting downloads of meditations or something like that. But I feel like a lot of you guys are choosing to invest with yourself. And if there's some kind of a big purchase you've been putting off that relates to this, you definitely might also be choosing to move forward with that. So if you're like, yeah, I've really wanted to do tarot, but I don't have any tarot cards, and I don't know, I don't even want to spend the money to buy one. I mean, tarot cards aren't that expensive, but you might be like, you know what? I'm going to do it, and I'm going to buy a tarot book to help me decipher the cards too. So you might be willing to outlay some money on whatever this is. Or maybe you were thinking of starting a tarot YouTube channel, and then you're like, you know what? I'm going to buy a camera, or I'm going to buy a mic. Or, you don't even have to like have, by the way, like if you've ever thought of that, you can film on your phone. You don't have to, you can buy a cheap microphone. I always encourage people, if you feel called to do it, you don't even need sometimes to outlay all this money. Sometimes we think oh my God, I have to have this, and it's like, sometimes you can just do it with what you already have, so that's my little encouragement if the money is holding you back. But some of you guys might find yourself with a little extra money this month to invest in whatever this is that you really want to invest in. So maybe you are ready to spend some money on a camera, start a photography business, start a channel, or sign up for a course, or get like some kind of a certification for something. And I do feel like you have a lot of potential in whatever field this is. So it's kind of like a message, like if you do need to spend some money for this, it feels like it will pay off for you in the end. Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number 3's September? What's going to be happening for them in the month of September? Temperance, okay. And then we got the Death card, and the Queen of Cups wanted to come out as well. So we got a bunch of cards. So the Death card, that is upright, of course. We're doing all upright. The Death card can definitely talk about endings, leaving things behind. I keep seeing the image, by the way, of like a little dog or a cat. It looks like a little puppy for me. So if some of you guys were thinking of adopting a pet, this may be the month to do it, or maybe just spending a little bit of time if you do have a pet, cuddling with your pet, something like that. And for others of you who don't have a pet and don't want one, it could just be something like going for walks outside, because I'm seeing someone walking a dog. So going for walks in your neighborhood, it might be really important for you this month. It might give you some time to think. Again, I feel like a lot of you guys are like moving mountains. You're really making strides in your life. And what I love about walks is it just gives you that time to kind of reflect, pause. You can listen to a podcast or a book on tape, but sometimes it's nice just to walk around, listen to music, or just chill and listen to the sound of nature. And I find I get so many downloads at that time, especially in September, which is such a beautiful month of the year. Like, I feel like in both hemispheres, it's just a really beautiful transitional month. So definitely embrace this energy and maybe spend some time out in nature, because I feel like some of you guys are really leveling up. And again, people around you can kind of notice. You might have some negative energy directed at you, as people can see you kind of outgrow your old energy, and it triggers stuff in them. So you might even wear black crystals, black tourmaline, obsidian, but don't let it get to you. This is where I think when you're leveling up, you kind of just have to learn to let it like bounce off you. You have to learn to let the energy just roll right off you. You can also envision yourself surrounded in a bubble of white light for the purposes of protection, and it works really well. But at the same time, there's always going to be the haters. Whenever you're doing anything really special or amazing, you're going to get haters. Just think of it as a good thing and a compliment. But it can be helpful to spend some time walking in nature, grounding, and just kind of doing things to diffuse that, and to spend time so we can really listen to our intuition and listen to ourselves. And definitely that energy fits well with this Queen of Cups. She's highly intuitive. She has a lot of creativity, and she uses that to kind of recharge. She very much manages her emotional self. So if she's feeling a little tired one weekend and just wants to stay inside and like bake cookies, that's what she's going to do. If she wants to, go for a run or do something energetic, she'll do that as well. But she very much listens to her feelings and her emotions. And I think emotions can be such a great guide, especially for manifesting. And I really feel like your theme of the month is manifesting, improving your manifestation, figuring out how you can make your manifestations better, and again, increasing expectations a little bit. So taking the expectations from here up to here, we are bumping those up and realizing we have even more potential than we thought before. Let me get some of these cards as well for pile number 3. Okay, this one really wanted to come out apparently, and it says grieving. Okay, lighten your load, dreams, and healing. And I think we'll end, I think that's, we also got the home one, so I guess we'll use that one as well. But yeah, I think with grieving, lighten your load, I don't necessarily think you have to like stop, because I love this energetic vibe you have, but I do feel like there may be relationships or people where you're gonna have to get better at your boundaries. It could even be lightening your emotional load, like not letting some of these people bring you down, because sometimes the downside, and it makes a lot of sense looking at all these cards like the Queen of Cups, the Hierophant, of being a little bit of a spiritual authority, is sometimes that other people can really tug on your attention. Like, I have been woken up from my sleep by like a panicked email someone sent me. It's so annoying. Like, it's truly so annoying at times. I love being a psychic, but sometimes when you're just like, oh my God, I need to check my email, and then you find someone emailed you right before and you're like, okay, but I was trying to chill. Like, or as your friend texts you or something, and it's not the most positive, or you don't even need to really see the text. You just know that they tried to get in touch with you, and suddenly they're on your mind, And that's why it's important to sometimes have energetic boundaries up, especially if you sense someone is repeatedly tugging on your energy. They're anxious, they might be nervous, they might be bleeding into your energy unintentionally. not trying to be mean or cruel, but just being in a very needy energy themselves and being very desperate for our attention. And it can really just tug and leech away your energy. So you really need to take steps to protect your energy. I feel like pile number 3, as you guys grow into your spiritual abilities, you're going to attract more and more of this kind of person. People can see you as like this bright light and this healer that you are. And it's kind of like a light in the darkness that, like, you know how, what is it, moths go right to the light bulb and gather around and fly around it. That's how kind of low vibrational people can be with high vibrational people. They can sense that someone has the potential to heal them or help them out. So they can really kind of come to them and just be very desperate for their help. And if you don't kind of look after yourself first, you're going to kind of end up over giving and giving away your energy to someone else. So this is where it's just important to set those boundaries energetically. You don't have to tell the person this. Of course, they probably wouldn't take that well if you were like, you're an energy leech, so I need some space. You probably wouldn't love that. So that's why we can just do it on our own. We can envision ourselves surrounded by white light, wearing those black crystals, taking spiritual baths with Epsom salts. We can go out in nature and ground. We can do things to nurture our emotional side, like if baking cookies makes you feel better, or painting or whatever, but doing things that really allow ourselves to have a grounded practice and really get in touch with our emotions and what we're feeling instead of just absorbing and reflecting the feelings of others is going to be really important for you guys. But I am seeing you stepping into the role of a spiritual authority this month, and I am feeling like a lot of people are noticing this about you. So even though you have a lot of energy, it is going to attract, you know, some of the takers as well. Let's get into some astrology dice for pile number 3 for the month of September. Wow, so we got 2 water signs, and the 2 water signs that I think, well, Cancer has a little bit more of a boundary, but still, you know, nothing can compare to those Scorpio boundaries. So yeah, we have water, and that's the thing about water. We got the Queen of Cups, she rules water, and that is water flows with the energy of the subconscious. So water can be highly influenced by like that guy across the room who's really stressed out and is panicking, and then you find yourself getting panicked, or that girl who's in a really bad mood and hates the world, and suddenly we start getting really angry. The good side is sometimes if someone's in a positive mood, then, you know, we absorb that, but that doesn't seem to happen as much nowadays, right? Everyone seems pretty low vibrational, I would say, or there's an energy of that in the world right now. So that's why spiritual protection is really, really important. And you can't really look after others until you've looked after yourself. And I think that's why a lot of water signs can often develop practices that seem kind of introverted. And a lot of people just stereotype all water signs as innately introverted, but I think it's something a lot of water signs just end up developing because they kind of get burnt out. So again, I feel like there's a message for you that you don't necessarily need to go into introvert hermit mode. You can kind of bypass that actually if you just learn to be really on top of your spiritual hygiene and learn to just brush that stuff off. And also learning to like just understand and recognize that it's not really always yours to take on. Like now, sometimes I will still get the vibe of like, oh, you know, this person really wants to talk to you, or just someone is trying to get in touch with you, energetically speaking, and I'll just be like, oh, no. And it's kind of like just choosing not to answer your phone, you know, because you have to get into that practice. Otherwise, you will just drive yourself crazy. So I think one really powerful thing to realize is that just because someone is calling you energetically or needs your help or wants your help doesn't mean you have to answer. You have every right to like enjoy your time, to reflect, to relax, to spend time getting downloads, and you'll probably be even stronger and able to give more after you've really looked after yourself and given yourself a little bit of a break. With Mercury, there could be a strong emphasis on like reading, learning this month. Mercury is all about information. Mercury just loves to learn all these random facts. I love Mercury dominant people, Geminis, Virgos, because they always have such interesting things to talk about. They're so curious and relentless about learning about the world. So I feel like with you guys, this could even be a message about really recharging your boundaries by spending time with friends, talking to friends that have interesting stories, interesting things to say, or just reading up, learning, spending time reading books, that kind of a thing. I feel like all of those would be great ways for you guys to recharge your energy this September. But I do feel like it's confirmation of how much you are stepping up, how much you guys are growing, and how many strides you've made in your spiritual practices. I do feel like all your guides, angels, and ancestors have really noticed that. And this month, it just seems like you are coming from strength to strength. And again, it may pay off. You guys might be making a lot of money this month or growing in some kind of practice that could eventually pay off and make you some money. So keep your eyes on the prize. Pile number 3, you guys are doing great. And I feel like pile or September for you guys is just more of that beautiful forward momentum. So I really hope it resonated, guys. If you want to see more of my content, be sure to check out all my other readings on this channel and give this reading a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you want to see even more of my stuff, then head to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about who you're meant to be. But as soon as you sign up, you'll get access to over 60 readings. There's all different kinds of topics over there. And that one was the poll winner, but there's still time to vote for the next winner for our next runner-up reading, and possibly even one more because you guys suggested so many great topics over on Patreon for this last voting section. So if you want to join us over there, help pick the next topic and get access to all those readings, then head to my Patreon. The link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. And if you want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel for you, mediumship wise or intuitively. You get to really choose what we talk about and what you ask about. So if you'd like a reading with me, go to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back again very soon for another reading. So take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Bye.